today I'm lucky enough to have the rose amongst the thorns. So Mrs. Geraldine Pillay joined St. Benedict's a short while ago. She's going to tell us about her history. But working with all the other male MRCs, we are very blessed to have Geraldine as MRC of Athletics here at St. Benedict's College. So welcome, Geraldine.
Thank you.
To begin with, will you tell us a little bit about your background and where you've come from and how it is that you ended up at St. Benedict's College?
I'm a former South African sprinter. I've represented South Africa at various international competitions like the Olympic Games in 2004, the Commonwealth Games in 2006, African Championships, World Championships. After I retired in 2008 due to a severe back injury, I then decided that I'm not done with the sport yet. You know, I'm just going to change roles a bit. And then I started at a school in Pretoria, and I was there for about 9 years. And my dream was always to work at an all-boys school because of the traditions and the cultures. And I have a young boy, and wherever I go, fortunately or unfortunately for him, he has to follow. And then a friend of mine who's the MIC of swimming, Mr. Upman, we also worked together in Pretoria, and then he indicated to me that there could be a possibility, an opportunity for me rather, at St. Benedict's, and I said, oh wow, that is just perfect. It's an all-boys school, so it comes with a whole lot of traditions and you know, and cultures, and also where I can have my boy with me as well. Yeah, so I started at St. Benedict's in 2018, and it has been a change really from, you know, it's a private school and I was at a government school. So here and there, you know, the seasons, especially when it comes to athletics, in Johannesburg, the Johannesburg schools, they have their track and field season towards the end of the year, August, September, where in Pretoria it was in the beginning of the year. But regardless of all of that, you know, I managed to settle in and to fit, you know, into the whole structure of St. Benedict's.
Well, that's an understatement in terms of how you've settled in, and I hope that you've been happy. What has brought about some of that happiness at St. Benedict's in the time that you've been with us?
I just think it's the whole, you know, the energy amongst all the MICs. We are a whole lot of people who are experts in their various fields, but also willing to assist. You know, as soon as I stepped into the office here at St. Benedict's College, I was always made aware of these are the rules and these are the regulations without being left out in, you know, when there were decisions made and all of that. And it was really nice for me to be taken under the guidance of people that have been around at the school, that knows the lay of the land, for a lack of a better word. And I think it's just nice to work with a group of experts, specialists, you know. I learned a lot about other sporting codes like hockey and rugby and water polo, you know. And sometimes if they want my advice, you know, I would gladly also give my advice. But I think it's just the work environment, and then also the boys, you know, just to work with boys that really want to. And I think everywhere we will get boys, you know, teenagers are, whether they're in Pretoria, Cape Town or Johannesburg, you will get a teenager that has all the talent but doesn't have, you know, doesn't want to work hard. But again, I could tap into the resources within the office to assist me if I had difficulties. So that kind of helped me also with the settling in.
With all that experience that you've spoken about and running at the highest level and competing for all those years at the highest level, that the rest of the staff would be tapping into your areas of expertise. Does that happen? And talk us a little bit about the role that you currently fulfill at St. Benedict's across the various sporting codes.
Yes, I do think that sometimes, you know, I am being brought in whenever there's a need for me to be brought in. Like in the beginning of the year, we have hockey and rugby, and I was asked by the MIC of hockey to assist with the hockey program in terms of their agility and speed and conditioning work. And it was actually a good thing because then it also gave me an opportunity to get to know the boys better. Because there's only a handful of boys who, you know, who do athletics, and now I had an opportunity to work with a broader spectrum of the boys at St. Benedict's College. And then in my second year, I was also brought into the gym area as well as the rugby area. So I think, you know, because of the season of track and field at St. Benedict's, I am used overall, be it with the basketball first team or with the hockey teams from the under 14 D team up to the first team. So for me, it was just a great opportunity, first of all, to get to know the boys, and also to use, some of my expertise to get them stronger, to get them fitter, and to get them ready for their hockey season.
And Geraldine, across those various codes, dealing with those boys, have you found some talented athletes?
Indeed, I have. I have scouted a few athletes, and also, apart from just to know the boys, I could also identify that these are the boys that I would love to rope into the athletics program later on in the year. In basketball, there are so many potential high jumpers and long jumpers, and then we get to hockey where you get your 800 meter and longer distance athletes. So yes, I use that opportunity as well, yes, to get to know the boys better, but also to identify talent.
All right. What success have you seen some of those talented boys go on and achieve, and building on that potential, where could those boys be going, knowing that we have our limitations, as you've said,
yes,
with regards to the timing of which where our track and field takes place?
I have seen quite a few boys by the names of Alessio Forza, who's a brilliant 400 and 800 meter athlete, as well as a first team hockey player. I've seen Tando, Shabalala, Tulani, Ngobe, and just to speak about recently, Raymond Hassim, who joined the school last year, just to see them grow, not just as athletes, but also in the various other sporting codes. And I really think that with athletics as a base, they can develop all the other skills, be it hockey, rugby, even swimming, and basketball. And hopefully, one day when they do leave St. Benedict's, they would still then pursue either a career in athletics or just, in any other sport. But athletics, the conditioning that they do get with athletics training will definitely help them in all the other sporting codes. And then in the beginning of this year, we had a boy, Jesse Monaghan, who has never done athletics in his life, but because of our integrated program at school, he was exposed to training, and he said to me he would like to try long jump. And he made it through to the provincial championships in his age group for long jump. So again, it was an opportunity that I probably think that I would never have had to coach Jesse if it wasn't for our integrated program, where during the day, in his school time, he could do athletics, and then there we found out that he was not just a good basketball player, but also a phenomenal long jumper.
So, to the grade 6 or grade 7 boy out there thinking about coming to St. Benedict's, and he knows possibly that he's interested in athletics, or he'd like to become an athlete, is there still room for him at our school, despite the big boys' schools, as you say, running
yes,
for a very short time towards the end of the year?
Definitely, there is definitely still time for him. Although in the beginning of the year we have rowing and swimming and cricket on the go, communication between myself and the relevant MICs have seen opportunities where boys can still go through to the district championships. They can still go and compete at the top 10 in Pretoria, at the Puma School of Speed. So there are still opportunities for those athletes to compete, even though our season is only at the end of the year. And I think it's a great opportunity just to get between sport. So on a Saturday they would go to Pretoria and they would do a Puma School of Speed meet, for instance, but also they would get the same opportunity as all the other schools in and around our province to see their chance at representing the province at the interprovincials or even at the South African championships. So I would still say that yes, there is a lot of opportunity for any grade 6 or grade 7 boy who is a great athlete, or who has potential to become a great athlete, regardless of our seasons.
Geraldine, in this difficult time with no school sport on the go, what should the general athlete be working on? Not thinking about only, but knowing that we can return to school sport, what could he be doing in this downtime?
I think now it's an excellent time to work on the small things, because right now if we are in competition, we just want to get faster and stronger. So now you can work on the skills, how to do an exercise properly. You can get stronger, and there are so many things that you can do in the comfort of your own home with without having access to a track and all of that, just to stay fit and, like I say, to work on those little things that you normally would not give any attention to because of timing. You know, we only have a certain amount of time and we want to get stronger, we want to get faster. But now you can work, for instance, on your core stability. They call it the powerhouse. Work on those things. Work on, you know, just overall body strength and just overall conditioning.
Has St. Benedict's taken advantage of all of those skills of yours and incorporated you into a program that they may or may not have going at present?
Yes, definitely. I think thanks to, you know, the current situation that we find ourselves in, we could introduce the program, you know, the old PE program, where we can work on, you know, the small things, the skills development of athletes. And sometimes when we speak about athletes, it's not just track and field athletes, it's a rugby player, it's a soccer player, and it's a hockey player. Yes, they have definitely made use of my expertise or services.
Excellent. And do you think has there been some value in those physical education or PE programs that you refer to?
Yes, I definitely think it has. It has had a lot of value. Also, just hearing from, you know, some of the boys that have been exposed to it. You know, sometimes we think, oh, the boys are not going to like it, but actually they do like it. Just to get back to the basics, because we always focus on the bigger things, but we need to get back to the basics. And they know, in the end, hopefully towards the end of the year or beginning of next year, they're just going to be stronger athletes, stronger swimmers. You know, overall.
All right. In closing, Geraldine, what would you like to see happen at St. Benedict's College under your guidance in the next 20 years that you're going to be here?
I would love to see a St. Benedict's old boy representing South Africa at a World Championships in athletics or an Olympic Games. And then we can proudly say that that is a product of St. Benedict's. I would love to see more of the boys using athletics as a base for all the other sporting codes. I mean, if you interview Brian O'Banner, you ask him his first introduction to sport was athletics at school level. So I would love to see more of our boys making use of the athletics program and the cross-country program. But for me, it would be, you know, it would be a great achievement to see an old boy representing South Africa.
Wonderful. Well, we will hope that that does happen in our lifetime, and certainly in your tenure here at St. Benedict's College. So thank you for the contribution that you continue to make, and we look forward to watching you progress and this athletics program progress in the years
Thank you
forward.
so much.
Thank you
very much.